So by now, everybody, ADA holders, the crypto market in general should be getting very, very excited because we're making some very strong moves. ADA had another great day yesterday. We started off a little bit on the red day, which I'll get to that in just a moment, but BTC is starting to show us some great signs and understand that we still have so many exciting things ahead of us. We're 16 days away from inauguration, the new administration coming in. ADA's not right on the edge of doing some very exciting things from a price standpoint as well. And I want to show you guys a couple key things to watch here, especially as we get through the weekend into next week. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that bell again. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So it might seem kind of strange or sound kind of strange, but yes, ADA has surged back actually 47% from wick to wick, right? And even right now, at the time of filming this video, ADA is sitting at about $1.06, and even that is about a 40% recovery. Very strong sign for ADA. Again, showing all the strength in the world here. And right now, we did get basically a hard rejection at our resistance. We talked about this yesterday that we might fight this just a little bit here, basically between $1.08 and $1.12. This isn't surprising. This is where ADA does have a little concentration of liquidity. And all we need is just a little bit of burst across the market to get through this. If you guys remember too, we talked about this yesterday. This is right about where all this short liquidation or all the short leverage liquidations begin too. So we basically snugged up right against the edge of this, got a little bit of rejection, and we'll see if we can get basically muster up enough momentum to get a strong push through there. And the charts are actually showing that we do have this momentum working in our favor, which I'll get to in just a moment. Now, BTC showing very strong signs as well. Another nice day of extension away from its 20-day moving average. You guys can see that BTC printed a 1.3% daily candle yesterday. We are starting off on a little bit of a red day, a little bit of rejection. Not surprising. Again, weekends are lower volume days. It's not surprising at all. What we have to watch is that we don't get a hard rejection like we did back here on December 26th. If you remember, we were doing a very similar thing and then a hard drop off, of course. Now, that being said, no institutional money today, no institutional selling. And in fact, institutional money helped us out in a huge way yesterday. $908 million worth of BTC added to their positions. Very strong sign. BlackRock back on the buy after a huge day of dumping. So a little bit of whiplash going on from institutional money. But as long as the market stays strong, we may see this buying trend continue as we get into next week, which is going to be good for ADA, good for alts in general, right? Now, what I want to show you guys is actually, where was that? On the weekly chart here in terms of ADA. So we're doing some very nice things. We're above our bull market support band, above this 20-week moving average. This is a very strong point in terms of assets in general. You guys can track this on other stuff as well. And what's interesting here is this is actually on the RSI, the strongest bounce on the weekly charts ADA has ever had. Okay. And what I mean by that is we're doing, again, something very, very similar to what we did last market cycle. If you guys remember down here on the RSI, we came down, we got very close to our signal line on the RSI and had a nice extension from here. This was actually the perfect test, the perfect tap. And we're actually doing something very similar to back here, right? We had our flip, we had our extension almost to overbought and came back down, retest. So right now, guys, this is right where we're at. And the interesting thing about this is when we look at this back in 2020 through 2021, this is actually what led us to basically an 872% move at the peak of this next wave of the weekly RSI. All right. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to move, 872%. Even if we move half of that percentage, guys, look at this, $4.25 or so. That is, it's all starting to come into a lot better scope. It's all starting to make a lot more sense about what is ahead here in terms of ADA. And again, this is the move that we talk about that may take place over the course of just a few weeks. We have to see how much confidence remains in the market. If we do get an 800% move, I'm not banking on that, but if we do, that's actually up into the mid $7 range. Okay. Understand that ADA is kind of prepping for some very exciting moves ahead. I do want to point out the fact that the bears have kind of vanished in terms of ADA. If you guys haven't noticed, comment section is a lot cleaner, a lot less negativity, a lot more positivity is a great sign. And in fact, when we look at some of these trends that we were monitoring very closely, like for example, the Wyckoff distribution model, completely invalidated at this point. That's a very strong sign. Also, when we take a look at what we're doing compared to 2023 into 2024, you guys can see we're following this to a T. So it's indicating that we have a very nice extension here coming in the short term. Now, obviously, there's no guarantees. Trends can change. We'll obviously see what sentiment does in the overall crypto market. Right now, I will say, we've climbed back up into this greed phase, which isn't surprising. You have nice recoveries along the way. In fact, when we look at what happened in January, you guys remember we kind of had a similar drop down here. Oh, there you go, guys. Sorry, didn't realize you couldn't see it. So when we look at what happened in January, we dropped down again into this basically oversold territory, into the neutral range in terms of the crypto fear greed index, and we had a subsequent bounce back and recovery. And this is basically what we're beginning. We're beginning this extension that ran into March. So what we're seeing right now is that it's similar to what took place in early 2024, but it's a little more accelerated, which makes sense, right? Because we should get back to some of those similar price points, some of those similar extensions earlier on, and then the wave of adoption follows. That's typically how these things play out. Now, do they always play out exactly the same? No, they don't. Sometimes they give us a little bit of surprises along the way. Sometimes they're faster. Sometimes they're slower. We get black swan events, stuff like that. So the biggest thing I can stress is, even though we're on a good recovery right now, we still have to be patient with this. We still need to understand that we don't need to press too hard. This is going to go a certain way. And what I will say is that, I actually looked at, again, this liquidation heat map here. You guys can see a lot of this long interest filling in right above these ranges. So that's something to monitor pretty closely. But we have really good support in terms of ADA right now in general. Now, that being said, you guys know, still have my long positions open. When I typically open these, I tend to keep them open a little bit on the longer side. So for example, my ADA one on BTCC, it's up 197%. My SHIB one's up like 100%. And in fact, my ADA one that is on Margex, that's up 317%. And again, if you guys do want to check out either one of these, links are in the description below. BTCC, I do prefer to use. It's available to US users. There's no KYC. You can actually trade up to 500x leverage on some assets. You can get a $10,000 or up to $10,000 deposit and trading bonuses. Yeah, feel free to check it out if you guys would like. But things are really getting exciting. Temper your expectations. Don't let emotion weigh on your investments, regardless of which way we're headed. The hardest thing people are going to have to figure out sometime in the near future is when to take profit. Maybe I'll do another video on that again, but I just want to share this with you guys. We're seeing, again, very exciting signs, and right now everybody should have a little bit of excitement. That holiday spirit that we were supposed to have, about a week ago or so, it's finally here. Have a great day. Show your love below. Let me know your thoughts. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.